So today, we're looking at expanding the smart lighting inside my house. And where I like to point the smart lighting is in the switches. I typically just use traditional LED bulbs or fixtures, and then focus on the switch. That way, if I need to change my fixture or change my bulb, I can do that without actually altering my home, and I keep the room smart. Now, I've been using Caseta by Lutron for a number of years now. There's a lot of things I love about it. It's controlled by Amazon's Assistant, Google's Assistant, Apple's Assistant by their own app. It is fully integrated with all smart products out there. It's ambidextrous. It works with anything. And that's the thing I love about it. So if I'm using Apple Home Pod today, but maybe Google comes out with something I like better later, or if I have all 2 or 3 products, which I do in my house, I can use any of my smart speakers and still control my smart lighting. Now, today we're looking at this. This is the Caseta by Lutron Diva Smart Dimmer. It's the ELV Plus solution. It is a pretty cool little switch. Does require a neutral wire. I will say this, not all of Caseta by Lutron's products do. And if you don't have neutral wires in your lighting switch location, then they do have alternatives. This specific one will require it. If you also don't already bought into the Lutron or the Caseta by Lutron system, you will probably want to start with a starter kit like this one right here, which is basically their smart dimmer kit with a dimmer, a remote, and smart bridge all ready to integrate into your home. So that is a great way to start. I already have this in place. This was the very first kit that I ever got. And then we can also have add-on products like this right here, one of those Pico remotes. We're going to show that as we do the unboxing right now. Okay, so let's start with the actual unboxing of the product, how it comes. And that way you can see everything that it comes with. So you do have some wire nuts, the fastener screws right there. Does have a little extension cable there, yellow one. Instruction packet right here. It's all sealed and everything, so you know you're getting them all. Little green book there. Then we actually have the switch itself. So all the wires are attached. You just are going to use wire nuts to connect these. And depending on how you're, what you're, I guess, looking to control, whether it's a standard one-way circuit or if it's a 3-way circuit, this has all the capability and connections for that. Now, up, light on, light off, and then you do have your dimmer on the side to adjust the brightness in the room, hence the dimmer function. Now, it does require a 10-watt minimum load to use this, and it does support up to 250 watts of in LED as well. So at least 250 watts in LED. I think it's 500 watts halogen. So it all comes down to what you're connecting to, and what you're powering is what the maximum load is going to be on this guy. But that's that. Now, it is different. So then this type of smart dimmer that actually has on, off, and then there's buttons to adjust the up and down. This is going to have a slider. I actually prefer this way personally, because you can slide it to where you want it to be, whether it's 75%, and it's going to stay there every time you turn it off and turn it back on. Wherever you have this set to, it's going to that's going to be the preset for it to come on at using the push button. So I do like that about it. It is physical in this case, and it's preset, so you can keep it the same every single time. I do like that. So without further ado, we have all the wiring here. We have our wire nuts here. We have our instruction booklet if we want to look at that. And then we do have this small little extension wire should we need it. So without further ado, let's head over to a switch that I actually have that I'm swapping out from actually a previous smart home product into this new one, this specific new switch, but that way I integrate it into the rest of my Caseta products, because this is my my product of choice anyway. So let's get started. Okay, as with anything, we're going to turn off the lights to my office. Ha! All right, let's get started. Okay, so first of all, this is an older Ecobee switch that I am removing. And you can see in here, we have all of our wires here. Look at that loveliness, nice and packed in there, isn't it? Let's get everything out so we know exactly how everything's connected. Ground cable, we have our neutral wire, and then of course the wire that I just disconnected right here, right there. Okay. So now I can go ahead and get everything disconnected real quick. Okay, so in this case I have my feed and hot wire here, my two black wires, my green wire is my ground, and my white's my neutral. And so with this new switch, we're going to go green to green, we're going to go white to white, and then we're going to use the red and the black to each of these. So essentially when it's on, it's going to pass the power through the black wires. White's going to be neutral, and then in this case we're not going to need the blue wire, so I am going to probably just cut that shorter and wire net it off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start. Make sure each wire is connected securely. That guy a little bit. Now the wire nuts that came with this are just the standard round ones versus the winged ones. I actually like the winged ones better because you can get a hold of it better with your finger, but I'll continue using the ones that came with it. I apologize for my battery backup, but it's not liking that there's no power right now. Okay, and then the last one. And then I did wire nut this off. It's not a huge deal, but I want to make sure that it's not going to connect to anything, so that's where I went with that. Now let me get the camera out of the way and get these pushed in real quick. Whenever you have these electrical boxes that aren't the deepest in the world, it makes it a little bit more difficult. Okay, I always want to make sure it says, say, Lutron on the bottom, so it's, and you can tell Lutron on the top that it is right side up. Get the two screws started in here. Get it lined up how I want it. Apologize if I'm covering you up here, but that should do that. Now you can use any decor cover on here that you would want to use, whatever is going to work for you. On the other hand, I'm going to actually use Lutron's Claro cover. I really like these. I started using these in my upstairs, and it just looks really clean. So you can kind of peel them apart, and you can see you have an outer cover that snaps in place, and then you have the inner cover that literally screws to the wall, or I should say to the switch. That'll be good. We're going to snap that into place, and we're good to go. And we flip the lights back on, and we do have power again. Lights actually came back on automatically. Now, before we get into the smart programming of it, you can actually see there's a little LED on the side here that's showing the indication of how strong it is. So we can increase the brightness or decrease the brightness. Off, on. So there we are. Now let's get it working smartly. Okay, so we're going to open up the Lutron app here. Now I've already had it installed, and I already have the Smart Hub going, so if you're ever interested in how to doing that part, I do have an older video that I can share down below, or at the end. However, in here, this is where you're going to see all of my schedules here, and then if I go to the left, devices. So these are all the various devices that I have in my home. If I hit the little gear icon in the top left, I can hit add devices, and right now it says 21 Lutron devices have been added. But let's hit add device. And in this case, it's an in-wall dimmer, switch, and fan control, the very top option. Let's click on that. So we have to press and hold the down button for 10 seconds till the LED blinks quickly. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and actually right there, it's good to go. Now, this is actually going to be in my studio. I'm going to call it studio. It is indoors. It is entertaining, I guess. We have ceiling lights. It's the main ceiling light. Hit next and off and back on. It looks like it's adding in just fine, and it's done. I'm done adding devices. If you had a Pico a wireless switch that you were also going to set up to work on this, that you could add it in right then, or you could go back up to this gear icon, hit add device, and add in a Pico device, and then you could link that to this specific wall controller wirelessly. So it's nice if you want to do like a three-way lighting setup, but you don't have wiring in place, you can use those Pico wall switches. If you just want to have a wireless control on your desk, you can do that as well. In this case, let's scroll down to my studio, which is at the bottom of the list right now, and main lights. And you can see it's at 100% right now. I can dim it. Let's bring it down to 36. Yep. Oh yeah, my backlight isn't the best for dimmable, but that's fine. I'm gonna get that changed out eventually anyway. And we can turn it off, and we can turn it back on. So we can do everything right here in the app. So like I said, you could also purchase one of these wireless Pico remotes for on-off capability and remote control of any of these switches. That's the nice thing about the Caseta system. It's very customizable exactly how you want it. So this specific light can be used in a three-way solution with this wireless remote, then you wouldn't have to worry about additional wires. If you already have existing three-way set up in your home, you could also do this with one of their wired switches on the other side that would actually control that. There's a lot of capability that you have and a lot of customization that you have within the Caseta system, and this one just adds to that capability. Now, as you saw maybe in the video, the light directly above my table here is one that I'm actually I'm thinking about replacing and changing into 2 different lights just for better lighting in this room. This light is not the best for dimming, and I don't even know if it's rated for dimming. It does work down to a certain percentage, but after a certain percentage it kind of starts flickering. So no matter what, I was planning on replacing it anyway, but that's obviously going to happen now for sure now that I have a dimmable switch in this location. So that's something to bring up at the end of the video, is make sure that your lights, your bulbs, everything is dimmable, is capable of doing dimming before you buy this, or obviously after you buy it, you can change it out at any time. But just know that going into this. This is a dimmable switch, so you will want dimmable lights. So that is it. I will put a link to not only this specific product that we installed today, I'll put a link to the Pico remote in case you wanted to look at that, as well as the full starter kit. Doesn't come with this specific switch, but it is a great place to start, because for the value, with a light switch, a Pico, and a smart bridge, this is a great value, rather than buying the hub by itself. Or the smart bridge, I guess. So thank you for watching to the end of this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you've used Caseta products, let everybody else know what you think about them. I have tried, I don't even know how many smart lighting solutions, whether it's bulb format, switch format, so many. And honestly, my favorite is these products. I love them. I think they're solid. They're a solidly built platform. They're not the least expensive. I will absolutely admit that. Buying this is not the cheapest solution, but buying it, it's going to be the one that lasts. Now, the one that I replaced actually started faulting on me smart-wise for quite a while. It worked, the button worked, but the smart part of it has just been a pain for the last year, but I just kept going with it. I've had another brand fail on me, actually completely fail and die. So I have these throughout my entire house now. And not in every location yet, but eventually. That's probably what I'm working into. That way, if nothing else, I can, if I go away from home, I can hit the all off button and everything turns off, and I don't have to worry about somebody accidentally leaving a light on. So thank you for watching to the end of this video. Thanks for listening to me ramble. We'll catch you back here on GeekSmart for another future video tutorial setup. Yeah. We'll see you again soon.